Okay, so today we're going to go over the RopeRunner Pro by Notch Equipment. This is a mechanical friction device. Where this device really shines is in SRS configuration. You can use it in moving rope, but it definitely shines in single rope the most. Unlike a friction hitch, most of the friction of this device lives inside of the device itself using two bollards and a friction plate. You have this pulley here that attaches here to your main attachment point, and your body weight in there is actually what creates this friction down here. The top friction bollard is adjustable. You see these notches here, they're numbered 1 through 5 for no other reason other than that is a good way for you to remember settings when setting this for different ropes. The lower you go in number is the more friction that's applied is the idea there. So all it takes is an Allen head, and you crack these loose on both sides and you can adjust the friction on the fly if you've got an Allen key with you and you're switching diameters of ropes pretty frequently. I would say my favorite use for this device, or where it shines the most, is in big canopies where you're going to be doing a lot of lateral movement. This device really glides through the tree. I especially like this device when making a big swing and going out a long limb walk. I will say that if you're used to a device or hitch that abruptly stops you when you let go, this device will definitely be a learning curve for you, because when you are traveling through the tree on this device and you go to stop, for one, there's a lot of action that happens here, but also because it's on bollards and a plate, it kind of glides you to a stop. I found that extremely useful for myself, my own climbing style. Some people like it, some people don't. I really enjoy it. But let's go over how this device actually functions. So how you control this device is through the handle, or the bird is the correct terminology for this piece up here. So anytime I refer to the bird, this is what I'm talking about, is this part up here. Some people hold this device like this, some people hold it like this. There's no right way. This is the way that I use it. So when you go to use this device, the amount of pressure that you apply bending this bird down is how fast the device will let you travel down the rope. And then to tend slack, if you're in the canopy, you'll use this tending pulley, which most of us are familiar with, hopefully. If not, all you do with that is you grab the rope from underneath and you pull up, and it advances the system upwards. This little tab here is an attachment point for some kind of chest harness or something to advance this device and drag it up the rope as you ascend single line. A huge advantage to this device is that it is midline attachable. So I will take it off this rope here so we can take a look at these wear points and what to inspect in this device. So I will say, before we look at the bollards or the friction plate, super important with this device is that there is a spring inside of this body piece right here, below the bird. For this device to function properly, that bird needs to be engaged. And what I mean by that is that you need to see an action like this. When you hold this piece down and you let go, it needs to spring back like that, because that spring is what helps hold friction in this device when traveling on this rope, whether that be laterally or up and down, doesn't matter. If you go to test this and it doesn't go up like that, it's probably time to retire the device, or it could just use a good cleaning. You can service this spring through this little access hole right here. I normally just blow it out with compressed air, depending on the time of year, normally around one time a month, give or take. And I normally fill it with 3-in-1 and test it, and that makes my spring work just fine. So that out of the way, we'll take a look at the bollards here. These bollards are pretty good. I have another one over here I'll actually grab. This is the one that I use most of the time. You can see the bollard's a little bit more worn on this one. Same with this here. These bollards are totally fine. I wouldn't consider this too much wear, but it's definitely something I'm going to keep an eye on. The other point that you're going to see the most wear on this device is the friction plate. And that's where you get this nice, shiny, spoon-shaped wear point. A lot of people will actually call that the spoon. If you go to look into this device online, or you overhear other guys in your office or something talking about the wear on a RopeRunner Pro, if they're talking about the spoon, this is what they're talking about. You want to inspect that for sure, especially where this pulley and the friction plate meet, where your body weight is holding this against the friction plate. That is the head of the spoon, where you will see most of your wear. A good way to know if it's too much wear is, I actually have a friction plate here that I just swapped out recently. You definitely don't want to see a hole in your friction plate. This is way too much wear. I wore this down over the period of a few years, and it finally rubbed a wear hole through. So I just keep it on my desk now as a cool trinket to have sitting around. But yeah, so you want to take a look at your friction plate, make sure that's not too worn. We want to look at the body of this thing, make sure all the pieces are in line with each other, nothing is twisted or not in the correct shape. We want to look at our attachment point here, make sure there's no cracks in any of the pins and rivets, anything like that. But yeah, so that is basically all the inspection points for that device. I'll show you it going back on rope here, just to show you kind of the big benefit of the way that it's designed is that you can put it back on the rope fairly quick. And yeah, that is the RopeRunner Pro by Notch Equipment. It's another tool for the toolkit.